setting up the camera there a bit, and you know, kind of tried to tilt it down towards me and hurt my fingy a little bit. Anyways, hello everybody, welcome. New trailer. I did not get to watch this as it was happening. I did not get to see the stream because I didn't even know it was happening today. And of course, the one time I don't know that it's happening, of course, certain things have to happen. Of course. So there was an MF Bunko stream that was happening, and unlike the past two MF Bunko events, which I guess makes sense for it to happen this time because we've gotten like 2 or 3 trailers since. Unlike the previous 2, or 3, or whatever it may be, we actually have a trailer this time, a brand new trailer. Whole ton of voice acting in it from what I understand, quite a few scenes, all that. And we do have announcements for tours, all that sort of shit. I'll discuss it after the fact. We'll get to that. We're gonna watch it as is now, just because. Also, I know that I picked a horrible shirt for this because, yeah, like, this is my really comfortable REM shirt, you know, nice. Oh, it's perfect for the summer, all this sort of shit. One problem with it, and if you've seen my other videos, like the talks about videos, you'll notice it, is that the blue gets recognized as green on OBS. It's a little too close because it's like a very light blue. It almost, you know, kind of melds into teal in a way. So it just gets recognized as green. So it kind of phases out weird to the point that you can partially see the background, but you can't at the same time. Also, thanks to this not being a stream and all that sort of shit, you know, not having to worry about it too much, I can just do this, I think, which is nice. If not, I mean, that's unfortunate. Maybe I'll mute the audio, maybe I'll do the YouTube thing to remove it. Yeah. And the last thing is, yeah, you know, I'm on this shirt. It might be a little confusing at some points because some people might see this. I don't play League, however, my brother does, so that's, you know, who this chair belongs to. I have the same thing, but it's Jujutsu Kaisen and stuff. They're nice chairs, they're good for the back. Regardless of what people say about gaming chairs, these are pretty damn good for the back, and honestly, I don't find them that bad. Probably this pillow helped a lot. Anyways, who gives a shit about the chair? That's not what you're here for. Trailer. So, I got my lemonade, mixed with some strawberry. Very nice, you should try it if you haven't already. I'm shilling this more than I am anything else. More than I am this trailer. Yeah. Alright, anyways. Trailer time. Let's do this. Yeah! Standing in victory! I was so right. I am a prophet. I fucking imagine these things in my dreams, and then my wizard powers make them a reality. I fucking called it. I know this was somebody that everybody fucking called to be the voice of Capella. I fucking called it. I put my fucking life on the line. Not really. I kind of just bet for an anime I would have to watch. Something like that. Random wheel. All that sort of shit. But I don't care. I put my fucking bets down. I went all in. And I was right. I have fucking wizard powers you could not comprehend. I am on a different level. It's like fucking spiritual pressure, like how there's different levels, and you know, if you're a certain higher level, you can't fucking sense it. That's how I am. Ooh. All right, so let me actually chill out there now that I'm done joking around. I'm also now realizing this is a little fucked, so I'm gonna fix this while I'm talking. There we go. Now see, there's no problem, except that side looks a little uneven. You know what? That's fine. Who gives a shit? Okay, so let me actually talk about this for a minute here. I'm very happy. The bet thing was kind of just for fun and everything, really. I mean, you can go back to the Arc 5 video. In fact, if I can get an immediate clip of it from myself here, I actually don't know if I can, because I recently had to move stuff from my phone over to the computer because my SD card was fucking up. And that probably had the clip of this. Then again, I posted it on Twitter. So you know what? I can go back and find that. You know what? Me editing, put the clip here. Fuck. So Capella gets established. She's an asshole. By the way, forgot to mention this, but you know, I'm a fucking prophet, right? we've established this by now with the 2 points I made previously. I've also established this in Discord whenever I do polls on Dokkan. Kind of unrelated, but I feel like it is related because those polls that I've done have always happened in a dream first, and then I did the poll in the game and I got that to work. So I'm making a fucking bet right now because this is really random. I genuinely just did not fucking like. It was one day where I was searching up voice actors, and this kind of just happened on the night after. I just had a dream like this, so I'm making a bet right now, and I've already decided what happens if I lose this bet. But for some reason, I had some profit level shit of this right here, future me. Put up the name and picture of the voice actress that I think will be Capella. Uh, by the way, didn't remember the name. Remembered the first name. Didn't remember the full name though. It was there though. I even had to double check because that was one of the like smaller details of it that I remembered was just the full name that was there, and I had to check, and that was quite literally the same name. So if my fucking profit powers are correct, that's the voice, and if I'm incorrect about that when the anime comes around, I will fucking take a anime suggestion from one of my friends, doesn't matter what the fuck it is, and I will be forced to watch the whole thing. I may regret this. Okay, so that whole thing, right? Fun little bet. I did actually, like, I was being serious when I made that comment. I did legitimately dream Aoi Yuki as the VA. I really hope I'm not butchering that name. I mean, it's just going to happen all the time with any sort of name. I feel like it's the unfortunate fate of just, you know, languages that people aren't fully familiar with. But I did imagine her as the VA for Capella, like way back when I was reading Arc 5, right? This was honestly probably around the time that Capella got shown and everything. Like, it wasn't even like I was super far in Arc 5, it was like I was at Volume 2. But I did legitimately imagine that. And, you know, it's a fitting choice. This is a very interesting voice because I did hear this. Should be noted, I heard this voice and I didn't think it was her, right? I have not seen the actual trailer. I saw this bit though because I wanted to hear Capella's voice. I'm surprised by it because this does not sound like her. Like, let me play a bit more. Like, that's perfect, right? That is perfect for Capella. Also, my lord, that, hold on. Which way do I have to go? This way? That face. That face. Ooh. That's really well drawn. Oh, especially the eyes, like they're like kind of wobbly and shit, like as if she's teary-eyed, but she's very clearly not. That's good. That's good. Um, but that doesn't sound like her to me, right? Because I imagined like I don't know what to call it. I would almost say like the usual kind of voice I've heard her in some like series and stuff like that, right? I was imagining like, oh, this very simple voice, like yes, it's sadistic and stuff like that, right? It has that tone to it, but I wasn't imagining super high pitch. And you know what? It works. It still works. I was just surprised, right? Like it's so different than what I was expecting that I didn't think it was her. So I immediately messaged my friend and I was like, dude, it's over, right? I was like, that's it. It's over for me. But this is good. This is a good voice. I am I am honestly really happy she gets to voice Capella because I think everybody around the world can mutually agree this is the voice a lot of people wanted for her. I feel like that might have played a part, is just because everybody wanted this voice, so there were so many outcries that possibly that was the reasoning. Maybe it was just the general, oh, she could just play this character really well, right? Maybe that, like, nobody had any contribution to that. I don't know, but you know, I like to think that it is a lot of, you know, fans like possibly influencing it a bit. And I know it's a little fucked up because, you know, there's auditions and stuff like that for that sort of thing. So it's kind of fucked if part of that is something focused to that sort of thing. But then again, VA business in Japan is a little bit different with how VAs are treated because it's kind of the thing of you're held on a very high standard, right? You are practically a celebrity and all that sort of shit, right? You are the character you embody. That's why a lot of VAs don't get recasted and stuff like that unless they are like sick at the time, they're on maternity leave, or they like you know for female VAs and all that, or they've passed, right? That's the only scenarios. And I guess if something has happened that is like they've been arrested or something like that, or something has come out about them that is not super great, and they decide to retire. There have been cases of that recently this year, and I won't go into specifics, but but yeah, this first of all, beautiful. Like, I just want to go back, right? I want to appreciate the animation here. This movement on Capella, she is she is very expressive, and I love it. Let's keep going. Now I'm blind to this. This sounds like a familiar VA for Roy, but I can't tell. Ooh, that looks good. That voice work. Oh, this is probably copyrighted music. I'm gonna have to deal with that, but that's okay. Oh, this song sounds good. Oh, this looks and sounds good. Oh, dude. I might have to pause again. God, the Miffenroid song. Okay, hold on. Let me absorb that before we continue. Give me a second, Richard. Richard, you must give me a second. Alright, so before we get to the Reinhardt part. Wow. Oof. Ooh, okay. So something I saw is Trigger and another I stuttered there like really weirdly. Another studio that I know of, right? I've seen the works they've done before. I just don't remember the name. But I do know Trigger is helping out with this. Now, first of all, fucking phenomenal news, right? I love Trigger shows, absolutely. Right? I want to get to Pandian stalking. Gurren is one of my favorite shows ever. I mean, I know that's Gainax, but that's the people who were at Gainax and then moved over, right? Kill la Kill, also phenomenal. There's a whole bunch of shit like the in terms of the stuff they've done that I need to get to in general. Like I still haven't seen Cyberpunk, and even though I haven't played the game, I've heard great things with the anime, so I feel like I might as well, right? Just might as well check it out. But that looks beautiful already. Voice acting is phenomenal there, right? Like actually beautiful voice acting. I love it. And then that Myth and Roid track, right down that. I keep forgetting how this works. Right down there, that sounds good just from the small bits of it I heard. I honestly thought it was an OST for a second, right? Like that sounded so like this fit the fight between them so well that it felt like it was perfect. The only thing I'm perplexed by is I want to go through here again. I might have to reread it, and maybe this is a light novel thing, because I actually found out some stuff about the light novel that I didn't know before, like stuff involving Elsa and all that. I don't see someone here with Amelia, which is really strange, because I thought it was the two of them together. I was under that impression. I had to click play because I was right-clicked. So that's the only odd part to me, just because, I mean, I'm sure it's there and everything. Honestly, where's Spoob? Yeah, there he is, right? Uh, I'm calling him Spoob, and I feel like some people aren't even gonna know what, like, the image I'm referring to. Maybe some people do. It's like the one where he looks like just like a, I don't know what to call it, like a sack of potatoes. He's like drawn like that. He's got a big old, like, circular mouth sort of thing. Um, Maybe they're there. and they just don't show it. It could just be the trailer, right? Um, Also something to note is, I mean, out of both respect and also I don't care to, because why would I watch it? Uh, didn't watch the leak. Really, no point. 90 minutes of exposition, right? And I'm speaking as somebody who's read it. I know what it is. It's going to be 90 minutes of exposition because, to what I understand, it's the full first volume, right? So that is just like a lot of that, and then but that looks great, right? Like even this shot, just I know this is weird to say like, oh, even this shot, but like there's good shading here, right? Like fuck, I keep doing it. Like over here, right, looks nice. The lines, all of it, really well done. But I know that's like corn on plate sort of shit, but you know what I mean. Um, Also, I think we're about to hear the chorus here, so let me keep going. Oh, it truly is. Oh. Oh, those two, dude. Oh my god, that looks like some. Oh! Hold on, hold on, hold. I can't. This already looks insane. Hold on, 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 hold on. Hold the fucking horses. Okay. Beautiful. And then this, like, this is good action. I saw people saying, like, White Fox Redemption arc. It really might be. Did he have claws before? Did he have claws the whole last time and I never realized? They probably described that and I just did not remember. No, these just look. Also, him fucking saying gluttony. Oh, there's a hatred in that voice acting. Ooh, ooh, it's teething. It's perfect. But like, look at that. It shot. Oh, that looks good. And like, that's crazy. So wait, so this is one thing I'm noting with that is this is. I want to go for this one more time. Oh, so this is that is a good frame of him. That is a that is a fucking that is a frame of him. Um, so this is outside, which is something. It's a small thing, but that's something I never realized because I was under the impression that this fight. I guess that's what you could call it. This fight was inside. I was under the impression this was like inside and everything, and it was kind of just a tall building that they kind of ran up rather than just this. That's not bad by any means that it's outside. That doesn't like take away from it or some shit. I'm just surprised because I didn't think it was. But I feel like it's two things probably. One, I probably just like read past something, not read past, but you know what I mean. Like I did not fully acknowledge it and go, oh, they're outside. And the additional thing would be there's a chance that, because it's an anime, right? It's an anime taking stuff from a novel. There is a chance that as a result, there are things that, it does on its own because it's like, well, you have the stuff written, but there's no specific way. Like Krush here, right? The novel could say she swings her sword, right? But they don't make it clear if it's like this. They don't make it clear if it's like what she's doing here, like this, right? Don't really make it clear. So it's like it's kind of the thing that an anime can do where they take their own interpretation. There's a chance for that, right? Which, completely fine. Like I said, no problems with this. I'm just a little surprised. Okay, so here we go. So these two, absolutely love them. But love the combo. He jumps in, he kicks, he punches, and then this fucking frame of it, like him moving in, looks fucking beautiful. That looks good. That looks really good. I like it. I like that a lot. Let me see the next crazy part. Cool. That's the yeah. Oh, this song sounds good. Oh. This sounds crazy, but like, ignoring the song. Bumping inside the green screen. What do I even? I'm glad they dropped the trailer now. Because, you know, this isn't even like me being an ass or anything and being like, I'm glad they dropped the trailer. No, I'm glad they did. If I saw this, like, back in March, right, when the previous trailer came out or whatever it was, like April, March, something like that. If I saw that and, like, this is what I was shown, right? This trailer. I don't think I could genuinely wait till October. Like, it wouldn't be like, oh, you know, I'd watch that leaked first episode. I still wouldn't. But it's the thing of, I would know this is on the way, and I would go, dude, what the fuck? Right? There's a fucking, like, there's a, there's a Bleach stage soon. They're having the whole Shonen Jump thing where they talk about all these series and stuff like that. There's probably a Bleach stage soon, and that stage is going to show off a new trailer most likely. And then I'm gonna have to like see that and be like, wow, October is gonna kill me, right? October is just a month where it's like that's it. I win, it's over. You know, I'm gonna sit there. It's like somebody's gonna be checking on my well-being. You know, in October, they're gonna walk into my room and they're gonna be like, hey, you all right? And I'm gonna be doing the fucking Yabuki Joe pose of just that's it. I'm gonna be sitting there and that's it. I faded to ash. Oh. The trailer isn't even done. Well, okay, it was done. It was. I did get to the end of it. That looks great. We saw that shot before. Let me double check that there's nothing after. There's a new volume. Okay, so additional thing. People are gonna ask about when this review is. Soon. I promise soon. I do like that Melee gets to be on a chapter cover. Very nice. I have no idea what Arc 9 has in store, right? I have not read it, right? In case people decide to comment that, or like comment about Arc 9, I am absolutely deleting that. And, I mean, fair warning right now, I might also take additional action to that. It's fine if the comment does not contain spoilers, right? It's just, you know, you can say it's great, something like that, just don't, you know, list too many details or anything like that. But, I took a drink before I even continued. What the fuck is wrong with me? Okay, anyways. Yeah, I will get to this review soon. I mentioned that art piece of, my 10-year project that I was finishing up. I'm actually almost done. I know this took a while, mainly because of school and just general life being busy. I had my birthday, this month. Technically this month, it's now September, essentially, because it's 4 a.m., but back on the 18th, that was, you know, busy time, because it was like, oh yeah, birthday, here's all this stuff I'm doing, you know, a few days before, a few days after, all this sort of shit, just for fun. But yeah, I will actually get to this review soon. I gotta read the arc. When I saw it's 13 chapters, so that won't take very long for me, honestly. Like, even if there's long chapters in there, it'll probably take me like a day or two. 13 chapters is not a lot. But you know, I'm gonna ask that everybody please be patient with me because I just have to finish up that art piece. I am very excited for the moment that I get to talk about the 10-year project and all that. Whether it's because, you know, all of you solved it, which means, you know, I get to do that interesting little video, possibly a series of videos, probably a series of videos. I don't think it's going to be one collective thing about the ReZero side stories. Or, you know, there's just the alternative of, yeah, it doesn't get figured out in time, but you know what? That's okay. I'll still talk about it anyways. Right. But other than that, let's focus on this trailer more so than this, right? Just thing I wanted to note it of, you know, it's on the way. Okay. So thoughts about this. First of all, fucking beautiful. Second of all, sounds beautiful. Third of all, voice acting is phenomenal. I don't even remember what number I'm on now because I was holding like this, but I think I might have said third. You know, 100 of all. I'm excited. I am legitimately very excited. Like, I think I have to agree with people now. This feels like a white box redemption arc, right? It's not just ReZero that they've occasionally had problems with. I mentioned it before on my anime adaptations video, and occasionally when I've talked about ReZero is I'm not a huge dude when it comes to Akame ga Kill. You know, it's manga-wise, it's alright, right? It's like, yeah, I don't mind that I read it, right? Nice, right? But you know, it's not like anything huge to me. That said, they fucking butchered that series in the anime. It is, there is a whole arc cut out, and a lot of other stuff is just kind of changed, and it's weird. And ReZero's also had that problem before. Now, I know you can make the argument, yeah, other animes have had that problem as well. 100%. But I do think when it comes to something like that, when somebody brings up that type of argument, I'm not going to necessarily criticize that sort of argument, right? Because it's like, no, I think that's fair. That there are other series, and it's not just exclusively ReZero, right? I don't think we have the right to contain that idea to ourselves. But I do think it's something important to note of just because it isn't ReZero though, right? Like that doesn't, or like that doesn't really change the whole thing about it, right? Like what I mean is essentially whatever other anime adaptation could be affected by that sort of thing, it doesn't really change the fact that neither that series nor this one should be affected by that as heavily as they are, right? By all means, the anime still works, right? It still gets people interested, all that sort of shit. I won't deny that ever. I will always probably recommend this, even though I'm going to most likely say, hey, the better option is the novel or the manga, that sort of thing, right? And I mean, hell, the manga is actually getting close to finishing arc 4, so I'm more inclined almost to recommend that in a sense, right? But like the thing is, it's still a thing of regardless of that, right? Regardless of the fact that I would still end up recommending this, and adaptations aren't going to be perfect, and all this sort of stuff, right? Like it's not the exclusive series with cutout problems. It is the thing of regardless of that, the problems are still there, and it is unfortunate that they are, right? In a perfect world, we would have those completely in there, right? We wouldn't have these issues like with Al and, you know, all this stuff about him. That would be in there from the get-go. The stuff about Felt would be in there from the get-go. All that. And it's not horrid that it's not in there, but they kind of do have to just acknowledge it at some point. And that's the thing, is where do they squeeze that in after that? Otherwise, it feels incomplete in some elements because it's like, oh, well, they, you know, took it out, right? I am saying that as a Fist of the North Star fan. That might sound odd because Fist of the North Star didn't really take out that much, except the prequel series, Fist of the Blue Sky. They took a lot out of that. They took a whole lot out of that. But overall, that's the thing, right? Now, with that said, this really does feel like just from what I'm seeing, right? I have no idea how much they're gonna cut out here or whatever it may be. Maybe they cut out small stuff, maybe not, right? I mean, there's been tons of complaints, right? So maybe that will incline them to not do so. But it is the thing of this looks fantastic. I don't know what's going to be cut out, but I am satisfied with what I'm seeing already, right? I am very satisfied. This looks phenomenal. I'm glad this shot gets to be in here. Oh boy. I'm excited. I'm very excited. That morphing, like, oh, the fact that we even get to see this now, we get to see how that, like, transmutation works. And it kind of, like, morphs the skin like you would expect. That's so cool. I don't know what to say, man. This looks good. This looks really good, and I'm excited. Now, let me talk about something else involving it, and that's the fact that there's actually going to be 2 cores. There's going to be, the first one in October, and there's going to be the second one in February. Now, the first one in October, from what I understand, is 16 episodes. And I don't remember if they mentioned how much Core 2 was, or that's just up in the air, right? If they didn't mention it, I will say 16 episodes is interesting. Because if we don't know how big it is, there is a chance that covers the entirety of Arc 5 for 16 episodes. Normally, I would not say that if it weren't for the fact that Episode 1 is confirmed to have all of Volume 1. Meaning, Volume 2 will probably be 3 episodes, Volume 3 will probably be 3 episodes, Volume 4, 5, all that. You do the math on all that, that's roughly something like 12. Well, no, not really, it's 15. It's 15 because it's 5 volumes technically, but not really, because then it's like, oh, well, Volume 1 is Episode 1, which is, 90 minutes, all that, everything. So in actuality, it is 12. Now, some volumes are longer than others. Some content's going to take more time to delve into than others. The backstory near the end of this arc, I would not be surprised if it takes 2 episodes to actually go through the whole thing, because that is a long fucking backstory. That is like one of the longest chapters in the series, right? So it would not be surprising to me if that takes like 2 episodes, maybe even 3. Probably 2, because I think the Amelia backstory stuff was like longer, something like that, and that's roughly, 3 episodes. So it would make sense if this one is 2. But just in general, 16 episodes sounds like, yeah, that is the end of Arc 5, which is really interesting. Now, Core 2, I've seen some people mentioning, because like the obvious thing feels like something like 8 episodes or something like that for Core 2. Assuming that is Arc 6, that to me says one thing, right? If it's 8 to 10 episodes, something like that, right? It goes to 23 to 25 episodes in total. That to me says one thing. We are stopping at Volume 2. It is going to stop right at the end of Volume 2 for Arc 6. And that is a very clever point to stop at. I won't say why, but that is a very clever point to stop at, right? That'll work as a very good cliffhanger. But if it is just like, because sometimes with cores, this doesn't always happen, but sometimes with cores, they kind of replicate the overall same amount of episodes, right? That sort of thing. Assuming Core 2 is some shit, like 15 or 16 episodes, I would say it's possible Arc 6 is finished then and there. Which is also interesting, because that means they have to do something for that last episode. And that will 100% just absolutely get people tweeting about the series. Reactions will go crazy, all that sort of shit. I already know it. But I don't know, right? Personally, if you were to ask me how I feel about the whole core thing, because we had heard about this sort of thing before, I'm not opposed to it. I don't mind it, right? I'm now realizing, because I made a bet on a, like, a Twitter account that randomly leaked shit about the series supposedly, but then it actually seemed like more and more of it was true. I think they might have mentioned like 30 to 32 episodes for this, and if that turns out true, I dodged a bullet by being right about Capella's VA, because I doubled up my bet. I doubled up that bet about, like, oh yeah, I'll have my friends, pick an anime for me to watch if I lose my bet, that sort of thing. I dodged a bullet if I'm right about that. That was fucking crazy. But yeah, I'm excited for this. My train of thought there kind of, fucked up, which is why I stuttered there. But I'm curious to see this whole thing. Oh, right, I was mentioning the chorus. Sorry. The ADHD brain, actual fucking meltdown there and completely getting sidetracked and then going all that sort of shit. And also not like, like TikTok sort of like, self-diagnosed sort of thing, like, no, actual, right? I think I've actually mentioned it before, I just don't remember men. See? That ain't even the brain, that's just me being tired. Anyways, what I was saying is about the chorus. I personally, right, if I were to give my opinion on it, I don't mind, right? I think that's good. I am kind of surprised by February for the second one. Solely because, wait one moment. Anyways, I'm surprised by February for the second core, because most animes, when they do core 2, it takes a while for that to happen, right? The prime examples I can think of is like Spy Family, Bleach, and I didn't get into the series before the second core, but I know Kengan Ashura, the second part of season 2 was released in August, right? Like, so essentially, last month, quote unquote, technically this month, all that. It was released then, and I don't know when part 1 of that was released, but I know something like Spy Family, for example. I know with season 1, that was released from, like, it was either early or like late in the year. I think it might have been late in the year. It was released late in the year. Then they, had the whole core sort of break after the first, like, 12 episodes or whatever it may be. And then in, like, the summer, I think, I'm just going based off memory, because honestly, I've read the manga, so as a result, I didn't end up actually watching too much of the anime. Because that's kind of like the problem with a comedy series, is like, at least I feel, is like, oh, you read the manga, so therefore it's like, oh, yeah, you can watch the anime, and, you love the voice acting, all that sort of stuff. Like, I did watch a decent bit of it, like at least the first half of it, and, really enjoyed it. But I lost track after that. But I'm just going based off memory. I think it was like the summer or something like that for the second half of it. So that does kind of show you, like, decent gap between that. And then Bleach, the one I do know, was like October to December for the first core, and then core 2 was August, or not August, it was like March or something like that, or April, and then I think to August, like it was July or August, roughly around then when that came out. Yes, it was August, or it might have been September, because I remember I watched one of those episodes on my birthday. So it actually might not have even been March, it might have been like June, something like that. Which means it ended even later, right? But then now look at it this way, right? Like core 3 of Bleach is releasing like next month, which is a massive gap in time. Like that's almost a year, if not a year, right? So that's the thing about it, is like usually cores take a tap, right? They usually take some time. But this is surprising, because this is just, and I know there's like multiple studios on board, right? It's White Fox getting the help of Trigger and the other studio that I don't remember the name of, but it's White Fox with multiple hands on board. And yeah, that obviously will make things easier, but it is a thing that's surprising of we're going from October to presumably, based on episode count, like December or something like that, right? Like 16 episodes. Actually, no, that would be like January, which is strange. So it would be January for that, and then February we start up again. But that's odd because that's literally the month after. A little weird. I'm not sure if this was oddly translated or not in terms of this info, right? Because that's an odd amount of stuff. Because going week by week for that, like, that might be correct. That might be correct. Maybe my brain's failing me and that might be correct. But it's like, that would be presumably 4 episodes, like, per month. Roughly something like that, right? Maybe 5 sometimes. So I guess it would kind of be like January-ish. But I don't know. Something about that seems odd. Just in general, it kind of is, because like that core is immediately there, right? That's the only thing I don't fully understand about it, and that's why I'm confused. But I don't mind the method of like cores and stuff like that. I think it is kind of the thing of that's a bit of a necessity, I feel personally, right? At this point in time, because it's like, if we're being real here, right? I mean, I don't know. It's a tough thing because on the one hand, I know some business practices with the cores and how they work, and I've seen people talk about it, how because of how it works, because you're getting paid per episode, all that sort of shit, it actually results in less, from what I've heard sometimes, right? Like with that sort of thing, so you're actually getting less pay in that regard. That's kind of fucked up. But at the same time, it is also partially a thing of two, from my outside, brain, right? I don't know shit about it, so I can't speak for anybody at all. But from the way that sort of core system seems to me, that does give people, time to, spend with their families, all this sort of shit. They're not forced into an office to work on something that whole ass time, and then they'll be brought back the next month or something like that, right? It's like you actually can go home, spend time with your family, say hi to your kids, say hi to your wife, say hi to your husband, all that sort of shit, right? And it still, works out. You can still work on this and that and all that, right? But I like that sort of system in that regard, if that is a true and real system. Right? I like that. So, in a sense, I don't really mind it too much, right? And I don't really mind waiting. I know some people would be impatient about it and be like, well, I want to get the whole thing right now and everything. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think you always necessarily need to, especially in like this scenario, right? Because honestly, bringing it back to what I was saying about Bleach, right? I love Thousand Year Blood War, right? Love how they're handling it. I love the added stuff in there, all that sort of shit. I'm absolutely loving that, right? But one small issue I had with the second core of Thousand Year Blood War is where they ended it. Because it's such an odd ending point. Yeah, it's a cliffhanger. But it's a really odd cliffhanger. Like when Core 1 ended, they ended it on the perfect episode, right? It was done perfectly, and it was just like, yeah, there you go. Right now you're excited for what comes next. You don't know, but like this is the good, like, oh yeah, here you go. That's it for now. We'll be back later, right? But Core 2 of that felt like, yeah, so this is still going on, but you're gonna have to wait, right? And then it's like a whole year later we're gonna find out, right? I'm cool with waiting for that, but I could understand complaints if people were to complain about it, because it's a thing of like, that does feel like an odd point to stop at, right? But for something like this, right, assuming that whole first core is the entirety of Arc 5, that is not a bad point to stop. Because at that point, the arc's over. On top of the fact that we start up again like next month or something like that, right? Like in general, this ain't bad. I don't really mind it too much. I'm cool with it. That's how I feel, right? I'm cool with it. That's the simplest way to put it. But I'm excited. I honestly forgot that it's next month, and I don't know if they said the exact date. They did, actually. I'm assuming that is just directly translating to October 2nd, presumably. Oh yeah, February. Yeah, it is February of yeah, because right there it says February 5th. Let me check the fucking calendar here. Can I double check the calendar from here? I can't. Can I look up a calendar? I can. So, looking at my calendar here, that has disappeared. But it's because it's on my email area. Why does it make me do that? Okay. So, if we were to go off 5, so that'd be... It's 5 from that, right? No, it's 2. It's 2. So that's Wednesday. I'm making sure this info is correct. I can double check that this info is correct by checking February, because if February is also on a Wednesday, which it is, yes, okay. So, the first Wednesday of October, boom, episode 1, fantastic. I'm hoping everything I have to watch doesn't fucking, like, collide with each other, right? Because I'm excited for Blue Lock Season 2. I haven't seen, or haven't read the manga of that. I just enjoyed the show, right? I give it an 8, right? Pretty enjoyable. I liked it. Good tension, right? But that starts up again in October. And then Dragon Ball Daima starts up in October, which I am very excited for. I don't know, that looks great. And I mean, after the news earlier this year, I feel like I could really use it. I can already feel like the tearing up in my nose. You know that feeling you get when it's coming? I can already feel it as soon as I mention that. But that's, you know, coming then. Bleach, I think, was usually Tuesday. From the previous cores, no, I think core 1 was Tuesday, and I think core 2 was Saturday. Or were they both Saturday? I don't remember. I could have sworn one of them was Tuesday, and I think it was core 1, but I could totally be wrong on that. But hopefully, you know, that's basically, hopefully that plus all of these shows aren't on Wednesday. And the Like a Dragon show, also, hopefully, if that's a weekly release sort of thing, hopefully that is also not Wednesday. I want to be able to watch stuff, you know, each on its own separate day. That'll keep me busy, but at the same time, it'll also keep it separated, and that'll be extra great. I am excited. I will be reacting to it on the React channel. I'm probably going to be pausing it a lot, just like I am with this. I'm going to have to figure out what to do with that, because I usually have the timer instead of showing footage. I kind of have like small footage. If you want to check out what that is probably going to look like, watch like 5 seconds of one of the Bleach reactions. I'm not even asking you to watch the whole thing, just like if you want to see the general idea for what I mean, watch like a few seconds of a Bleach one, you know, skip ahead, whatever it may be. You'll see what I mean. But that's going to be what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have to figure out how to be able to pause both at the same time. I'm probably just going to, you know, comment on things that I really like about the arc, because I think something to note is when it comes to my reviews, it's a little hard to get every single thought that I want to out. Even here, technically speaking, I'm sure I could think up something later and be like, oh shit, I forgot to mention that, right? But if I'm live reacting to it, it's kind of the thing of I can pause, talk about something that I really like with the arc, right? I think that works out great. As well as, you know, the light novel editions, I will find out about them thanks to this, right? Which is cool. It'll be completely fresh to me, and that's great. I will be especially excited for Arc 6, because Arc 6 is my favorite arc of any series, so that'll be great, right? But overall... Oh, actually, it does say 8 there. I'm now noticing it says 8 on that third season thing. Like, sorry. Actually, wait, you can see it in REM. You could, right here, if I lean this way, yeah, up here, it says 8, right up there. So maybe that is 8 episodes. Huh. Maybe it's only gonna cover Arc 5. Would it not meant? Well, okay, 8 episodes, like I said, 8 episodes could still cover up to the second volume of Arc 6, and that is still a very clever point to end at. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not even gonna worry about that right now. Overall, yeah, I am gonna react to it on the other channel. Oh wait, I'm stupid. Nobody comment anything. No, nobody comment anything before I noticed. I just noticed now. I pointed out the 8 thing. I now realize where I went wrong. The other 8 is here. So, Core 1, 8 episodes, presumably, right? From to my knowledge, right? Maybe I'm wrong on that. I could be totally wrong. But 8 episodes, Core 1. 8 episodes, Core 2. That makes sense. That makes sense then. That works for February, because yes, that would be like October, November. And then, you know, February, March. That's it. Whole thing's done. That makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, okay. Now that that's cleared up, presumably, I don't know, you're free to comment something if that's also wrong and you want to give a proper translation. Please be nice. I will be reacting to it, like I said. All that sort of shit. Those will be long reactions, especially episode 1. Episode 1 is an hour long. That's gonna take me a fucking while to actually finish the recording of, because that's just gonna be like me talking and talking and talking, and it's gonna be like 2 hours. But yeah, I really enjoyed this trailer. Glad I got to see it. I wish I could have seen it live, but that's okay. You know what? The fact that I didn't get to see it live means I could have done this, right? Like, you just have the footage in the background. Way nicer. All that sort of shit. But that's about it. Just take care. Have yourselves a great night. I will be here with the review soon of the next volume. I also have something else that's pretty interesting to talk about, because I actually did stumble onto something when I was working on the 10-year project that I would love to make a video on. Just to give a nice shout out to it, because it's very entertaining, and I think all of you would really like it as well. So there's another video on the way that might be pretty intriguing in that regard, right? And all sorts of shit. Still working on scripts for all that sort of like big videos that I mentioned, all that. Because, I mean, I'm now finished playing Infinite Wealth, so now I can focus on working on that, right? But yeah, take care. Have yourselves a great night. I've been talking for nearly an hour. That's okay. And see you all next time.